Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode on the JayBee and Milly channel. I'm JayBee, and of course with me is the mighty Mark Marsh.
Hey everybody.
So we've got an interesting couple of topics today, and one of them is I don't know what anniversary we just celebrated of Scooby-Doo. I think we celebrated the 54th recently, and maybe this is the 55th. Not too sure about that, but regardless, like the 60th anniversary is looming in the not too distant future, and I know we're at a stage of Warner Brothers where we're lucky to get a sticker to go on like the reprinted DVDs at this point, as far as they're concerned. So I'm not sat here expecting great things from Warner Brothers, but if they were to celebrate the 60th anniversary of Scooby-Doo in a meaningful way, what would your dream be? Like you wake up on the year of the 60th and Warner Brothers make a huge announcement, like a Nintendo Direct style Scooby-Doo presentation. What do you want to see in that direct, Scooby-Doo Direct for the 60th?
See the 50th anniversary one was nice because we had the mystery mansion set and it was good. It was a limited run piece of 50,000 pre-orders, grab it while you can. It worked. It looked nice. It was like it's the Where Are You? Which okay, yes, it's the first season there is, but we've already got that completed collection. Like what was it? First it was DVD three
And
times.
then like the Diamond
Then we had the
Collection.
Diamond Collection. Then we had the Deluxe Edition, which was that big mystery set in the protective plastic box, which I got. And it's like that's like what 5 or 6 times it's been re-released. And also that new one as well, the slip cover, so it folds up. Then they done a new Mystery Machine one with it. It's like it's two. Okay, yes, there's Blu-ray. That's nice, but could have done something a bit more. Wow, Shazam or something like that. So I really think for the six, if they ever do one for the 60th one, I just really hope that it's like a big, like all the ones from the 60s all the way up to the 90s, where they can mostly for me, it's the ones that were syndicated part of the Laugh Olympics, because I feel like if they release that era bit on full, I feel like that will be good because we don't have a complete set. Then there's only volume sets, but I feel like that was an age where it was unique and different because of the Olympic specials. But they could at least done a whole big massive tribunal to that era. Because I've got to think about it. Any new season that comes out now is out on um, full season release, so it's easier to collect. But stuff back then, it's like you're lucky to get a complete set. It's like whether you know someone who recorded on VHS at the time, and I guess you could go online and look for stuff from them. But even then, it's like you're going through so many pages trying to find every single release episode. It's never ending forms of asking people, do you know this episode? Do you know if it exists still on VHS? I mean, I'll take a camera recording a VHS tape any day. So the Wednesday's missing one. Like I have it. It's online on a website. You can watch it, but that's the only place you can watch it because the only release is a VHS tape one. But they can't get the rights to do it on DVD, which makes sense because those were the actors at that time, so they're legally blind to find that to respect their wishes. So it's a lot different now. So I can understand that part, but it's like the Olympic ones, they got a full reign of releasing that, but they don't. It's not like Warner Bros. Have lost the footage. They got the footage. I doubt they lost anything. Everything's backed up, archived. So they got it.
Yeah, and even if they did lose it, there's always they can reach out for it. Like I think that's what they did with the Little Shop of Horrors when they wanted to remaster the old ending of that. They got in touch with collectors, historians, the old directors and editors to find footage. And I'm pretty sure on the channel now we've interviewed John Bruno who did, the whole story direction for Laugh Olympics. So there's definitely people that have worked on that series still out there that would probably have some stuff left over. And even then, if you remember the scripts and stories, like I wouldn't even be against reanimating them and remastering those so we've got the full collections. But I think DVDs for the 60th anniversary is kind of a no-brainer. I think that we should theoretically get those. And I like what you were saying about bringing in what really isn't released physically now. So would your dream idea of that be, say, Laugh Olympics Season 1 full DVD? Or would you almost want a deluxe master set? So everything from
Yeah,
Scooby-Doo Where Are You Season 1 to like Guess Who Season 2, like a massive master
yeah,
set
massive,
box.
big box set,
Ooh.
a limited release. I don't care they put a 250 quid price
Yeah, I
tag
was
on it
gonna
or
mention
more.
price. Like,
Price tag
ooh.
for that one, probably 250 to 300 would be a good price range for everything from the 60s all the way up to the present. Just a massive, big deluxe set, pre-order,
Wow.
um, for limited release.
That would be
So
nuts,
it's
you
like,
know.
you so they open the pre-order on a day. Whoever pre-order on that day gets a copy. After that, there's no more copies. Mate, take my money.
They could almost make it to order in a way for like a
Yeah,
day's time. Oh, you know what? See, they could almost be a bit cheeky and do one of them for the series and another for the movies as
because
well.
then they can do custom arts, posters, all these other bits you could buy on the side. So, I get these one in a lifetime posters for each of the seasons, or, artwork cards, postage cards, and all this nostalgic stuff they could do. And same with the collectibles, they can bring back old figures that were discontinued, but they can bring them back for limited time release. Lunch boxes, drink boxes and all that. So they can do all these stuff that they can do for the 60th anniversary. Obviously, they can do it on the as a big collection set, or you can buy them all individually. But the hype for that would be amazing, especially comics as well. But they can do a 60th anniversary comic special pre-order.
Yeah, see, I would love that because I'm just looking at the DVDs
They can
now.
literally call it the Scooby-Doo gold era, and just have it like so you can have like the pre-order day one. They can do like a normal print for the other days, but whoever had the gold print, like standard pre-order release, that'd be perfect.
I mean, that would be amazing because, like you say, it's just so difficult to track down every bit of Scooby Show media now
Because
that to
that's
have
what I
one
do now. I
place
don't collect the
would be
media stuff now. I
perfect.
collect the comics. So I literally will now buy the Scooby-Doo comics and try and build up the collection.
See, that makes it because Warner Bros. Is a little bit lazy, but there is some stuff that has been lost to time that a simple reprint would
Yeah.
be amazing. Like, did you collect any of the Gold Key comics at all?
No, I'm trying to look for them on eBay.
Yeah.
They are not cheap.
They're so gorgeous looking though. They look so
I got
classic.
all
I'd love a reprint of those.
the Scoob Apocalypse ones. I got all them on that, which I feel like that is probably the best. How that is not a show, I have no idea. Comic
Mm.
format, it's it's good. Oh, well, therefore, I can't wait for the next issue. I think this has to be a series. If this is a series, they should have Scuba I'm stuttering now. They should do that as a series on HBO, and I'll buy straight
Mm.
up. That'd be better than the Velma show because at least then we have background material to work from. We know where it's going, so there's none of this. Oh, let's change the characters around. Like we know where the characters are going from start of the finish, but we get to see that in video format. And the best thing about a series, you can add more stuff in or change it about, which makes it good between comics and actual movies. But as long as you don't make it completely boring and stupid like The Walking Dead towards the end, then you're good.
Yeah, good to go. Good to go. Like that could even be a thing. Like I think the 60th has so much potential for reprints. Like even if Warner Brothers do want to be lazy, DVD releases of old stuff, like and even just more convenient reprints of stuff that is released. So I think look here on the shelf, we've got the whole collection of What's New Scooby-Doo. Volume one, two. Even if they were to just do What's New Scooby-Doo season one, What's New Scooby-Doo season two, season three, as whole DVDs, I think even those would do pretty well.
Yeah. And another thing as well, collecting stuff. I have the Scooby Doo Round the World magazines that
Oh
they've
yeah, I
done.
love those.
All
Yeah.
100 issues I've got twice because one of mine was damaged, and typical I tried to find only that number 99, issue number 99. And for some reason, no one was selling that individually. So I just had to, right,
Um,
I had to rebuy another 100 just for that one perfect one. Because it was like, there's no way. I was like, is there any chance that you could sell me just one issue? No, okay, fair enough. Like, fine, I'll just buy it all.
you know what though? If you're ever selling any of those duplicates, like let me know because I'm working on
Yeah,
completing them at the moment. But I
all
guess
just for one issue. I
just
brought it
one issue.
twice.
I mean, I'm so tempted to do that
I
with
got the Rugrats one as well.
and I think this would sell as well. You know, Supernatural. I'm so tempted to just buy like season 15 of Supernatural just for Scooby Natural, that one
Yeah.
episode.
What they should do is just release that as its own
I think
individual
that'd be good,
episode
yeah, for the 60th.
because I'll buy that.
Yeah.
That's what people just bought that season for. It's just like it's got the Scooby Doo one.
They could
If
do it with
people
some
like,
nice collectibles as well.
it's so good. It's probably the best crossover ever.
Oh, I
And
love
what
it. I love it.
and what you got the supernatural news show now called The Winchesters, which is really good. I quite enjoyed it because Dean Winchester comes back for that to help out. Not supposed to, but he's there anyway because it's Dean Winchester. He does what he wants.
Yeah, I haven't watched them yet. I tried watching Supernatural, but then like I just got sidetracked. Like I watched the first two episodes. One of these days I'm gonna do like a build up, like the road to Scooby Natural, and just react or review every episode leading up to it or something.
Yeah.
Because it is a show that I'd like to get into. And I
I,
think a
I
sequel to
will say
Scooby
this
Natural would
though,
be great for the 60th.
Supernatural starts off very dark and creepy, and I always will say that the first few seasons are probably the darkest. But I will say, past like season 8, it gets more lighter and not as terrifying as much. It's still great, but I feel like the first seasons were just like creepy jump scares, like really dark. I was thinking, fucking hell. For me, I don't like my horrors that much. Like, that really got me. I was like, Jesus Christ. But then I got this passing that thing. Like, I can watch this now.
Yeah, I was just heartbroken when they killed like Adrienne Palicki's character. I was like, "What? No, she was good. Why do me like that?" So that kind of broke my heart a bit. But let's talk because here's a funny question. We know Warner Bros. Is lazy. The 50th anniversary celebrations were good. You know, there's no denying that. But do we think that that is the biggest celebration Scooby will get potentially until the 100th? So what we get for the 60th isn't going to be as good as 50 just because 50 seems more important than 60
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah. So if we get something for 60, that'd be great. I don't really want to wait around to the 100th anniversary one because, by God, like I think about this now. Like, will I be alive then?
What year would
that's
that be,
that's
thinking
the
about it? So if it was 1969,
1969, 70, 80, 90, 2009, 2019, 2029, 39, 49, 59, 69, 2069.
oh, I could probably have figured that out, but I'm so
I had to do
dyscalculus.
numbers, even though I
Yeah,
could
I was
have just
like,
done 100. I was
yeah,
like,
like, oh,
screw it.
100%. I can't believe that. But so 2069. So I would be 71 or 72. I think I make that, you know. I might lose a bit of weight, might have to lose a bit of weight, but
How
I
old are
think I
you?
make that. Oh gosh, right now I'm 24.
Yeah, so I'm 5 years older than you.
I
I'm
think I
29 in
make it.
August.
So 5 years. So you'd be what, like 76, 77?
Probably, yeah. Just going on to my 80s.
You know, we're still gonna be around then, you know.
Oh,
You might actually get like finally like Wednesday is missing when we're 100. It's kind of like that'd be great.
oh, it took 50 more years.
We're all grey and stuff.
Oh,
Finally, just watching it. Oh god, I'm maybe one of us won't exist by then, but I hope they are. I hope they get better. But you know, were you around as a fan for the Doctor Who 50th anniversary?
yes, because they're the three other doctors.
Did you watch that special they did, An Adventure in Space and Time?
Bits of it.
See,
Not
because I was thinking that would be my perfect vision for a future Scooby-Doo anniversary. So, what An Adventure in Space and Time is for people watching that maybe don't know, they basically for the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who employed people to play the showrunner of the BBC, the head person at the BBC, the first director of Doctor Who, and the first Doctor, and reenacted what it was like to produce the first couple of episodes and then the struggles that the actors had and how they overcame it. Basically, it was a biopic. Think Rocketman, Bohemian Rhapsody. It was a biopic on that. Now, I would love if they were to cast people to do something similar for Scooby-Doo. So you've got Bill Hanna, Joe Barbera, Fred Silverman, and then you can bring in like younger versions of Frank Welker. Who was Heaven North's original? So it wasn't Heaven Off that did season one. It was Stefania Christopherson, Don Mezek, and just give us a good story like that where we're following the story of them getting the idea for Scooby-Doo, the first few recording sessions, and what it was like to air them.
You can see early videos like how did they do them back then, because there was a video, I forget what it was on. I think it might have been re-put on DVD, but I think it was on a VHS copy, like how the draw Scooby-Doo. Because that back then, I think it might have been early 2000, they started showing off that, but they showed how the drawn, they did with Recess as well, like how to draw the Recess gang. So then obviously they did for Scooby-Doo, how to draw Scooby-Doo, and did like those videos. But then eventually in some bits, they showed old videos of how they did certain storyboards. So it's like one scene folded the other, transfer paper to make it more move. But I think people forget that it's not done on computers that is now. Like back then, it was all hand drawn, and you take a
And
frame
that's what they
over
could show,
frame,
really. Just
frame.
people like all hand
Yeah,
drawing the
it really
cells.
showed that. That's why the backgrounds were mostly the same, because it was a lot easier reusing the background. Because I think the most iconic bit with Scooby Doo, it still stays with them now, is that they keep the backgrounds the same when they're running. If you know that the chase scene, they're running and the
Yeah, even
backgrounds
like when
just
it isn't when it's
overlay
outside, like there's
paste.
you see mountains like repeat themselves
Yeah,
as well.
because they kept that in there, because back then it was a lot easier on the editing if they didn't change the background every 2 seconds. So do it in a scene, they kept the scene, but if they run, the background's following you. I'm sorry, but it's like it just saves so much more print.
I mean, I've got a moment in mind. So there's a moment in An Adventure in Space and Time when the original Doctor Who that was cast in, I think, 1963 was really scared about leaving the role. He didn't want to do it, and he was scared about the future of Doctor Who. So he's in this TARDIS console and he looks over and sees current Doctor Who, Matt Smith. And I'm just thinking, for the 60th anniversary, what a great tribute it would be. So maybe there is discussions like they had before that 80s series, I think maybe the 70s series of Scooby-Doo being cancelled, Scooby-Doo being over. Maybe it ends with Frank Welk in that position, being worried about the future of Scooby-Doo. And obviously this is the younger Frank Welk that we've cast for this special. And
Yeah.
he looks over and sees our Frank Welker today at a recording booth, still recording for Fred, and that's how the special ends. That would be, I think, if they did something like that, it would be perfect. That's what I want. Just an adventure in space and time, but for Scooby Doo.
Yeah, 'cause I don't think people appreciate what voice actors have to go through.
Exactly.
It's that it's a lot different than normal acting, because most of the time you're by yourself. So you're not with the rest of the people filming your lines. Sometimes they do. I've seen videos on that online, but most of the time they're in a booth on their own. And I think the best one is probably Hugh Jackman when he has to do his Wolverine voices over. He has to get into the rhythm of making his hands are
Yes.
coming out, then going in there. And sometimes they got to do all that. Like, good to imagine themselves as that character and then imagine the person in front of them when they're not, because there's a lot, it's different doing the lines by yourself as opposed to someone there, because you can aim it towards them and they're doing their lines back. So that's why voice actors, like, they don't get a lot of credit, but I think they deserve everything because they
Yeah.
make that film, that series, those episodes come to life. Because I don't think without, if it's just a book, you can tell with some old shows with the voice actors that if there's just like not there, it doesn't fit well. I feel like if they put more oomph and that spark in that character, it could definitely pull off. And there's a lot of the old ones as well, you see, because back then it's like they need to get these out there. And nowadays it's like it's a whole different ball game of like we need this character to be that character. So you got to sound and act that way so we know you can pull it off.
And Frank Welker's the perfect person to use as the protagonist, the
Yeah,
main
because
character for something
he's
like that.
still
Like,
doing it.
yeah,
He's
literally,
still
from
voicing
What a Night for a
both
Night
characters.
until Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo, like that's crazy to be able to be that committed to a role to still be
Yeah,
at it. Like, and I think he's still
he's
got a
probably
few more left in
he's
him.
the only
Like I don't think he'll
last OG
retire.
left. He's the only
Mm.
last OG left. I feel like if he goes, it's gonna be a sad day
See,
for
that's
every
the thing
Scooby
as well.
fan.
That moment. I mean, I'm not
They
praying
have to
for
do a
it. I hope it
tribute.
never happens. But that moment in the special that I've proposed with young Frank looking at current Frank, that's going to be good for us today. But imagine rewatching that when the unfortunate
Yeah,
day does happen. That's going to be the most emotional gut punch, but at the same time, most beautiful tribute ever. To just really visualize for people's heads. This person was recording for this character before a lot of people watching were born, and
yeah.
he's still doing it now. Like
A lot of
that's
them would
crazy.
retire by now, but he's still going because I think he knows how valuable that character is. But it's trying to find who can replace him because he does two characters. So then have to find who's going to voice Fred and who's going to voice Scooby. You're going to have to see if, you know, I don't think anyone can do both like he can. Because I feel like that's actual talent if you can mask your voice to sound like one person, then do it as another. Because he's got to film all his Scooby Doo lines and then film all his Fred lines separately. So at his age as well, it's like that is the biggest respect. Like the fact he's still doing it,
Mhm. I'm hoping, I'm
it
praying he
is
comes back
amazing.
to Edinburgh Comic Con this year in October, because that would be like a dream come true. He's just a legend. But I mean, that aside, that was really the only idea I had for the 60th anniversary that I kind of fell in love with, because I do think it would be perfect. But another aspect of like anniversaries, I think Funko usually do decent jobs, producing, 25th anniversaries for this, that, and the other. So, I mean, I don't know, like, what's your stance on Funko? Because I know some people like them, some
So
people hate them. What's your opinion on that?
I do have some Funko Pops, but they're not Scooby Doo ones. They're the Dragon Ball Z ones because I'm into my Dragon Ball Z
Mm,
more. The only reason why I don't collect the Scooby Doo ones is not because I don't hate them. It's that it's there's a lot out there,
yeah.
and if I collect one, I'm going to collect them all. And then it's the space. Where I'm going to put them, how I'm going to put them. Are they going to look good? They're there. Are they going to be in the way? And then it's just like it's going to be a hassle. That's why I don't collect merchandise. I only collect the media ones because it's easier to transport around. Whereas if I get the media ones, I got then got the bags, the books, the Lunchables, all these other stuff that people don't look for. I then got to collect because when you start collecting one, you have to hunt down the rest.
Yeah, that was that was my problem.
It's like it's the addiction of like, okay, how can I find this? Search around, and then most of the time it's like a bidding war just to get one item. It's like, do I really want to pay? Screw it, let's pay it.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. Like, I think Funkos are nice to commemorate things. Like, I was really disappointed that we didn't get Funko Pops based on the 2002 live action movie for the 20th anniversary last year. Like, I feel like that was a big missed opportunity. And so with this, I would like Funko Pops based on them and also the What's New Scooby-Doo design, because we've only got like one Funko Pop for Velma, Daphne, Fred. The rest are Shaggy and Scooby, which I understand are like the
There's a
main
load of
people,
Scooby
but
ones.
like, where's the Daphne ones? Like, I got Lola Bunny as Daphne Funko Pop. That's cool, but like, I need Daphne. That's
Yeah,
my thing.
there's so many Scooby ones. It's ridiculous. There's like the Glow and Dark one. There's a normal one. There's this version, that version, and then you go to like you said, Fred, Daphne, and Velma, and there's like it's easy to collect them because there's like a few of them, so it's like it's easy to get them. I don't
Mm.
know. Funkos, I
Yeah.
feel like you have the space, go for it.
Yeah,
Me
Funko.
personally, I know I don't have the space, so it's going to be one of those awkward things. Like I'm just wasting money not displaying something. And sometimes I like to show off them in my videos, have them in the background if I can.
Yeah, they're good for aesthetics, and like I loved when they did the Hex Girls ones. I thought those were really cool. Like the only issue is that I've stopped taking them out of the box now because I'm hoping to get a lot of them signed. So that's a thing as well. Another idea that I had is I'd like a Bob Singer documentary for the 60th anniversary. So, Bob Singer worked as a layout artist in the original 1969 show. I'm pretty sure besides Frank Welker, he's one of the only surviving people left from that series. And I just think there's so much that I've learned about him that I've grown to appreciate his impact more because he moved on to do the production design for a lot of the later shows as well. But also, when he was teaching storyboard artists, he was actually a teacher to Victor Cook and I think Kurt Gader, and a lot of the people that eventually became very high up working on Mystery Incorporated. And so the fact that a layout artist from Scooby-Doo, Where Are You, actually was a teacher to a lot of the people that worked on Mystery Incorporated, I think that would be a pretty good, story for Warner Brothers and Hanna-Barbera to shed light on.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's like I feel like storyboarding is probably the hardest bit
I couldn't like just
because
oh
it's the imagination of knowing what scene you want, how you're gonna do it. Because when I do my scripts now, you're supposed to do storyboards, but it's like I even in college, when I was doing my photography and graphics, you need to do storyboards for certain things. Like I don't know, I just improvise on the spot. It's easier for me. Storyboards, like, okay, you do a story, but then I change it constantly. New storyboard. I want to change it. New storyboard. I want to change it. New storyboard.
yeah,
But
there's
then
always a lot of
sometimes it's the way
tweaking
you
that
see
I'd
some
get.
people's storyboards. It's like they're just like brief abbreviations to give you reminders of what they want to envision. So sometimes they look ridiculous, and other times they look like they took a lot of time drawing them out for one scene. So yeah, storyboards to me is like it's on a whole new level. It
Mhm.
works. Obviously, you work with a team, you're going to need a story. Then there's the brainstorming, then there's the improv. It's just like go for it. So probably storyboards is for me. It's like it goes like there's so much in there. So I feel like it's probably a special on its own, just doing that, like do storyboard telling.
Yeah, see, I'd love to just learn more about that. I think it's very good as well. I've never been very good at art though, but I suppose to kind of get into the stage of wrapping up this topic, if you could only choose one thing to come out of the Scooby-Doo 60th anniversary, what would that be?
Ooh. Give us Wednesday is missing.
See that alone. Oh,
I really want that so bad because it's like I hate it. I can understand if okay, my collection's complete because I've collected what I can on the series. So there's no more out there to complete. But giving us the almost complete collection with one episode missing is like the most biggest insult ever. I look at it every day and like one day that says the complete. The complete. I've never seen a series say almost complete collection.
I'm almost
Never.
wondering if there's bad blood because they don't let them use the rights, but then in the new Wednesday show, there's like the police person calling Wednesday Velma, and it's like, well, if you
Yeah.
acknowledge Scooby, what's going on here? Are they firing
I was
shots?
like, I
Like,
want my
what's going
Wednesday is
on?
missing. It's like, oh, that is don't get me wrong, probably the best era to be alive was watching that. And the Scooby Marathon, like watching the new Scooby Mysteries was amazing. But then owning the collection is like, I hate how it's almost complete collection. Why? And then they did like two versions. So you had the almost complete collection on Blu-ray and DVD, but you also did the lost episodes for people who owned the first part original DVD, which had the 15 episodes. The lost episode had the rest of the episodes. But it's like, okay, I got to buy that. Oh, it's not available in the UK. I got to buy it from North America. Okay, that's nice. Yeah, fine. Salt injury because when we got the new Scooby Doo movies on DVD, we had 3 episodes. But then the one in America had 15 episodes. I still today don't understand how come we had a volume one, they had a proper one, and we never
No.
got any more release of them because they were
One of
meant to
these
do the
days, we
rest.
do just need to go over to America for like a month-long
Yeah,
vacation and just go ham on eBay, just ordering stuff.
ordering stuff.
Even
It's like,
take an empty suitcase there just to fill
yeah,
up
they're
to
like,
bring
so you
back.
know, the Soko's empty. Don't worry, I'll be filling it before I come
Yeah,
back.
multiple.
I
But
was
yeah,
like,
I agree.
I'm amazed. I'm just like, how we get so unlucky with the releases, and then we get the Almost Complete collection, and I'm just like, I just want Wednesdays missing. Like sometimes when they release the bumper editions and that, or they do like a Halloween edition, that sometimes they pick the wrong movies to put in them. It's like what the Scooby-Doo 10 disc bumper collection that recently came out. Don't get me wrong, the box looks nice. I have literally the Zombie Island image displaying on front because that's the best one. But like the movies inside, why choose those ones when we already got them on separate? At least, make it a collection worthy of the name.
I'd like that. But I suppose to kind of wrap up my segment, I would almost implore people, even if you've never watched an episode of Doctor Who, even if you don't care about Doctor Who, I would implore anyone watching this to just watch An Adventure in Space and Time and just consider it as a story in and of itself. Like, just take them as characters that don't exist and follow along with that journey, and then tell me you wouldn't want that for Scooby-Doo. Like, because I think that would be the perfect thing. So even if you don't like Doctor Who, I would urge people to watch that special because my image for that as Scooby-Doo, oh, I think it's amazing. That's what I would love for the 60th anniversary more than anything. So, yeah, I guess that kind of wraps up that segment. Thank you so much for joining again, Mark. Like, these
That's
are
okay.
just so fun. I want to just keep doing these, but eventually we are going to run out of topics, I'm
I
afraid.
know.
But it is good. But yeah, thank you so much for joining. And you know what? I just realized I've forgotten to do this quite a few times. Mark, for the people watching, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me on my social media at Twitter at iGodsLuigi. I'm also at Instagram at Mark Marsh 94. But you can also uh, communicate through me on YouTube, on my channel, in the community posts,
So I'll make
or
sure to
or,
leave
or on
that.
recent videos because I respond to comments,
That's true. We've got
which
some good
I'm
stuff
more
coming up.
active responding faster on YouTube comments than I am on Twitter.
Yeah, me too. Me too. But yeah, I'll make sure
With Twitter,
to.
I'm on the feed. I'm thinking, oh, news, 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 news. Like a comment, and it's like I forget which one I messaged to because all these retweets, these reposts, and that. So I think I'm too old for that kind of stuff. But you can message me directly, which is a
Mm,
lot easier. But tweeting is so confusing because I get confused with each one.
yeah, me too. Me too. But yeah, I'll leave that in the description down
You know
below.
what we should do? We should do a Q&A together. Ask your
Oh,
audience to ask us questions.
that would be an interesting one. I think
Do a
we're approaching
yeah,
episode 10, theoretically. So maybe for the 10th episode, we'll do that.
yeah.
We'll
Ask your
do.
audience the questions you want to ask us, and we'll answer them.
That would be fun. But you know what? Yeah, that's a really, really good idea. So yeah, if you want to see that Q&A, comment down below. And yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one.
And turn on post notification by ticking that
Yeah,
bell.
don't forget the bell and
Yeah.
smash the like button.